yeah, bro, I'm just gonna go all in. I'm gonna start taking everything super serious and I'm gonna get to my goals. Dude, that's such a fucking flawed way to view your development. Now, you're on the right path, but I'm going to expose the all-in mentality right here, right now. And there's one massive reason why this could ruin your development, and I'm gonna give you the 3 main pillars that are going to reshape this whole mentality. And these are the exact conversations that I have with my players in the Close the Gap protocol by Kelly Training. So you may be asking yourself, Nate, why is all-in thinking bad? And it's probably not the reason that you're thinking of. The main reason why all-in thinking is severely flawed is because it lacks clarity entirely. Let me paint a picture for you real fast. If you have any goal in this world, this is going to be a simple framework that you're gonna have to follow to hit that goal. It starts with intent, okay? Then goes down to a blueprint, and then you finally execute. But if any one of these steps cracks, then the rest crumbles. And I'll show you exactly where the all-in thinking cracks this whole framework. Now, with all-in thinking, man, you do have some intent. Now, it's not really defined, and you don't really even know what all-in means, but at least you have the intent to improve whatever you want to improve. But here is the massive problem. As soon as you go to blueprint, everything starts getting super shaky. So I'm gonna ask you on the other side of this screen, what does all-in mean? You're probably gonna think, wake up every single day at this time, swing every single day, do this, do that. But you're lacking a roadmap. You have no sort of strategy behind it, and you probably think, I'm just gonna do more. But that's not what all-in means at all. So you think, I'm just gonna do more and more and more, and you think that's gonna bypass the blueprint step, and you're gonna go straight to execute. And what's gonna happen is, you're gonna think you have to do more and more, and that road never stops. So, once you go all in once, you're gonna expect more all-ins to ensue. And as soon as that doesn't happen because it's not sustainable, you're gonna go right back to square one, AKA burnout. So without this proper blueprint, you're gonna go straight to execute and you're just gonna absolutely crumble. You're gonna head right back to intent. From here, who knows what you're gonna be thinking. You might be thinking, I'm gonna go all in again, but that is the definition of insanity, right? Going right back to square one, expecting a new outcome, and then again, bypassing the blueprint, going straight to execute. And what you're probably gonna do is let this all-in vision of yourself completely sell you on the journey emotionally. But it's a very logical framework and it's a very logical journey. In all reality, if you do ride on your emotions through your all-in journey, you're gonna burn out and you're going to fail. Okay, we got to define what all-in really means. Is it a consistent 4 a.m. wake up when you typically get up at 8 a.m.? No. Is it 600 swings a day when you typically only get 100? Definitely not, dude. Do not sell yourself on what you think all in means. And I'm gonna give you the key right now. You're not gonna hear this in very many places. You're lucky if you are watching this. Please keep watching, okay? All in thinking is truly doing what my ideal self does. And you may be thinking like, oh man, there's another step to this. What is my ideal self? And truthfully, that's something you gotta get really clear on. So spend some time when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed, just 20 minutes, and start visualizing what this ideal version of you is, okay? After you finish your visualization, write down exactly what you saw, felt, and experienced. What are the characteristics of the ideal you? What traits does he possess? What skills? How does he feel on a day-to-day basis? Maybe he is the starting shortstop at Vanderbilt, but that's just the cover of the book. You got to open the book and really experience what that version of you is. The Vanderbilt version of you, is he happy on a consistent basis? Does he have a strict routine that he follows? Like, how does he feel? What does he do? And how can you start acting like him? Guys, once you really understand this, you put pen to pad, okay? You start writing out exactly what the ideal version of you is, and you spend some time with that version of you, whether it's visualization, meditation, breathing, whatever you do, and you really start to embody that person, guys, that's what going all in truly is. It is not 800 cuts in the cage per day, right? It is not having such a strict diet that you barely get your calorie goals, right? It's not going so balls to the walls that you eventually burn out because you have no framework. Guys, going all in is just doing what my ideal self does. So once you spend some time there and you're pretty clear, let's talk about the blueprint. This is the exact step that we talked about earlier that breaks so many all-in journeys. And that's because they get so clueless on what it all means. So let's get very logical. I see this happening in 3 very simple steps. Those steps are consistency, distractions, and intent. Just like the first framework that we went over, a crack in any of these steps could ruin the absolute foundation. Can you control your daily inputs? What does that ideal version expect and require out of you on a daily basis? For me, in my business, I have to post every single day. If I want to get to where I want to go, that is an absolute requirement. For you, get super clear on what this really means. Once you get clear on that, you need to attack that religiously. If the ideal self requires a certain amount of daily inputs for a certain task, you have to do your best to hit those. But ultimately, you need to understand if there is a day, which it will happen, where you come short of these daily inputs, you have to get right back on the horse. Maybe it's swing work, maybe it's workouts. I don't know, and I cannot dictate that for you. So get super clear on your consistency and what you actually need to be consistent with. Next, you need to spend some time analyzing the distractions in your life and what serves as legitimate noise. Distractions and noise are consumers of your time and energy. And I want to make a clear distinction here. Consumers, noise, and distractions, they are not failures. They are wastes of time and energy. Meaning, if you go into the cage and you're trying out a new swing and it just didn't work that day, that was not a distraction, that was not noise, and that was not consumer behavior. You simply just failed. And you're gonna get right back on the horse after that. Now, if you didn't go to the cage, but you wasted your time scrolling on social media instead, that's a complete distraction, that is noise, and that is consumer behavior. We need to start eliminating this and doing more of this. Because this eventually leads to success, because you're gonna stair-step your way up to your goals with failure. And this is gonna not allow this process to even start. So get super clear on what is wasting your time and energy, what you are consuming rather than producing, what is straight noise in your daily life, and what are those distractions. Get super aware of that and start making change to those distractions. Finally is the intent, and this is your why and vision. The reason why this is at the bottom of the list is because this is the foundation to everything above it. It's just like a house. If everything underneath collapses, then this will all be rubble. So this is the most important part. Back to step 1, getting clear on your ideal self. We need to maintain that why, and we need to maintain that vision. In small moments in your day, we need to be able to hearken and recall back to what this actually means and what it does for us. Because in those small moments, the distractions ensue. In the small moments, the consistency might crumble just a little bit, right? Because you'd rather do something than what your ideal self will do. But if we keep the intent, this has a superpower of breaking this curse. So hold on to your why and hold on to that vision of you. Even in the smallest moments, when it's really difficult to do so, build that awareness and be able to go right back to your intent. Maybe you want your ideal self because you're passionate about life. It could really be that simple. Maybe you want to get to Vanderbilt to pay for college because your family can't afford it. Like, what is your why, bro? If you can't get clear on your why, then just like everything else we talked about, stuff starts to crumble. Get clear on why you want to be where you want to be. Then just hold on to exactly what that feels like. Hold on to exactly who that is. And always recall back to that version of yourself. So when you get into those times of distractions and consistency, these are the superheroes that come to save the day. Finally, let's fucking execute. This is the most fun part because you have everything laid out and now you just got to do. And I'm gonna make this painfully simple for you guys. You just have to do the do. If you've done the first 2 steps correctly in the framework, you know who the ideal self is, and you have your blueprint written out, you just gotta follow that. You've just gotta do the do and act and follow suit of who that ideal you is. And you gotta keep in mind, you will fall off your horse sometime. When you fall off your horse, you got to do the do. What would the ideal self do in the situation when you fall off your horse? When you get off track? He's gonna simply jump right back on that horse and give it an even harder try than last time. But it's not gonna ride on emotion. He's gonna logically look at the situation for what it is. From there, he's gonna push it forward just one more step. Fellas, always remember to do the do. And if you're ever lost in that process, ask yourself, what is that ideal me going to do in this situation? From there, take that step, take that action. The pain of regret is much more than the pain of failing. Remember, do not settle. Fuck that.